The Bayeux Tapestry. Ask any Brit at all, the one date they all know of British history, from the beginning of time, and they'll tell you, without hesitation, it's 1066. That's right, 1066 and all that. The Battle of Hastings. You see, this date is ingrained in every Englishman's mind. I think we're even born knowing it. Ask them why it's so important to our Britishment, and the reply will be, well, that's the only time Britain has been invaded and conquered, but we don't celebrate it. Well, that's not quite true. The Romans invaded Britannia 1,000 years previously almost, in 44 BC. But there wasn't one big battle that decided everything. It took the Romans years and years. But we don't really count that because the Romans invaded the entire known world at the time, and it was more of an economic takeover with us, and they allowed the kings of Britain to stay in place, more or less. No, 1066 was the one and only time we'd been properly conquered. So what's this invasion got to do with the Bayeux Tapestry? Everything, because without Britain being conquered, the tapestry wouldn't have existed. So I need to tell you about the invasion and conquest of Britain. So to get to the Battle of 1066, let me start in 1064. The king at that time was Edward the Confessor. He was called that because he was very, very pious, and as a good Catholic, he confessed a lot. Edward had no children, and his health was poor. His nearest living relative was Duke William II of Normandy, a cousin twice removed. Succession to the throne was usually passed down from father to son, or perhaps the nearest relative, but with approval from the Witan, a sort of committee of nobles. Succession was not an exact science. Although Edward was king, he relied upon powerful families to help him rule. One such family was the Godwins, whose head of the family was Earl of Essex. To secure the support of Godwin, Edward had married his daughter. When old man Godwin died, his son Harold became the Earl, Edward's brother-in-law. Edward the Confessor thought it time to name his successor. Now it gets confusing because he promised the throne to William and to Harold at the same time, so each side said. Edward sent Harold over to Normandy to pay homage, or fealty as it was known, to William as the next king. So says the supporters of William. Harold did indeed go, and he got lost, landed at the wrong place, and got captured by Count Guy of Ponthieu, who was an enemy of William's. William rescued Harold. "Oh, William," said Harold, "thank you so much for rescuing me from that mad count. He was going to kill me, you know. I'm so grateful that I promise to support you in succeeding to the throne of England. You can count on my help, you can be sure of that." "Thank you very much," says William. On the 5th of January 1066, Edward the Confessor died. Just a day later, with the approval of the Witan, Harold was crowned King of England at Winchester Cathedral. A messenger arrived in Normandy to speak to William. "Sire, it's bad news and bad news, I'm afraid." "Don't you mean good news and bad news?" "I wish I did," said the messenger. "Go on then, what's the bad news?" "Edward has died, sire." "Well, that's good news, isn't it? I mean, I'm now the King of England." "Well, that's why there's more bad news, sire." "Go on then." "Well, Harold has been made king. In fact, he was crowned just a day after Edward died." "The rotten scoundrel," said William. "The dirty, rotten scoundrel, after everything I did for him." William was livid. So was King Harold's brother Tostig. So was Harold III, King of Norway. His nickname was Harold the Ruthless. Tostig and Harold Hardrade, as he was also known, were great friends. Tostig told Harold that were he to invade England, he would help him against his brother Harold. Being a great bloodthirsty Viking and up for a bit of pillage and plunder, he said to Tostig, "Count me in, I'll be there shortly." In the summer of 1066, Harold Godwinson, King of England, was keeping his eyes open on the southern coast for William to land and claim his throne. Then he got a messenger. "Sire, it's bad news and bad news, I'm afraid. The Norsemen have landed under the leadership of Harold the Ruthless near York and they're looking to fight." "What?" said Harold. "You're kidding me?" "No, sire." "What's the other bad news then?" "Your brother Tostig is in cahoots with him." "The dirty, rotten scoundrel," says Harold. So Harold marches up to York with an army and finds the Norse army at a place called Stamford Bridge, just outside the city. On the 25th of September, King Harold won a decisive victory at the Battle of Stamford Bridge. Harold the Ruthless and Tostig were killed. The Norsemen fled and rushed back to Norway. 3 days later, on the 28th of September, William arrived on the south coast unopposed at a place called Pevensey. He set up camp and built a wooden fort at a town called Hastings. A messenger arrived at Harold's camp in the north. "Bad news, sire. The Norman invasion has landed and they've camped at Hastings." "Right, lads," says Harold to his nobles. "No time for pillage and plunder. We're off to fight the Normans." Harold rushed south, and on the 6th of October he arrived at London with an exhausted army. After resting, his still exhausted army set off for Hastings. On the morning of the 14th of October, the two armies met. Harold hadn't even had time to organise his army when William attacked with cavalry, a new way different to fighting for Harold. He much preferred the shield wall. Anyway, it was a brutal and long 9-hour battle. As evening approached, Harold was killed. The English, with no king, fled. William had won the Battle of Hastings. William, not a man to waste time, quickly cemented his victory, chasing down his enemies, and was crowned King of England on Christmas Day 1066. Fast forward to 1070. Odo, Earl of Essex, had just finished lunch and is having a few beers. "Now then," he says to his assembled lords, "we have much to be grateful for thanks to my brother William. We need to get him a present to say thank you. Any ideas?" "How about a statue?" says one noble. "No," says Odo, "the Brits aren't very good at that." "How about a nice portrait?" says another. No, says Odo. "Have you seen the British paint?" A noble lady puts her hand up. "I've an idea," she says. "Go on," says Odo. "How about a really nice embroidery? There's a lot of very talented embroiderers in Canterbury. We could make a big one." Says Odo. "I like that idea. It would have to be big. Very big." "Yes," says the assembled lords. "We could hang it up on the wall." "Yes," says Odo, "like a tapestry." "Oh, no, says the woman. "Technically, it won't be a tapestry, you see. A tapestry is woven on a loom, and this will be an embroidery on a backing of linen. The Tapestry Guild wouldn't like that." "Tapestry or embroidery, I don't care," says Odo. "We'll hang it on the wall at Bayeux Cathedral, where I'm bishop. Now, I'm currently having Bayeux Cathedral refurbished, so I'd like it ready for the dedication ceremony, and I'll invite William as a guest, and it'll be a complete surprise. I want this tapestry big, 230 feet long, 20 inches tall, telling the story of the invasion and conquest of England. Let's have 58 different scenes, stitched together with some Latin explaining what's going on." So the finest embroiderers went to work in Canterbury, producing the most skilled work ever done. 1077, the dedication ceremony is about to start. William has arrived with his wife Matilda. Odo says to William, "Brother, I have a gift for you as a big thank you from all the lads what you've done for us. Now it's a surprise, so close your eyes and I'll lead you in." He positioned William in the nave of the newly refurbished cathedral. "Now open your eyes." William was utterly mesmerised. "It's a fantastic job, Odo. What a brilliant tapestry." "Ah," says Odo, "technically it's not a tapestry. A tapestry is woven, this is all embroidered on linen, and the Guild of Tapestries won't like it." "Well, it looks like a tapestry to me," says William. "Oh, look, there's the boats arriving at Pevensey with the army. There's the camp of Hastings, look. Ah, you've even shown that comet that flew over." Halley's Comet did indeed show itself at that time. "Oh, there's the cavalry beating the English. Aha, there's the death of that lying double-crossing scoundrel Harold. It's even got his name there saying he's dead. Which one is he? There's one there with an arrow in his eye, and there's one lying down from sword cuts. I don't remember Harold being hit with an arrow, do you, Odo?" "We were all a bit busy, William, at that time, so the girls gave both options. You know what the English are like, William. They're saying that it was a lucky shot that killed him, otherwise he would have won." "Ah, so the English say an arrow killed him, we say a sword. Doesn't really matter though, does it? We won." "Oh, look, there's the English running away. What a great gift, thank you, Odo. We'll keep it here on display. I'll tell you what, we shall call it the Bayeux Tapestry." "William, it's not a tapestry. A tapestry is woven. This is embroidered." Yes, I said William. "But the Bayeux embroidery doesn't have the same ring to it, does it? I'm the king, Odo. I'm calling it the Bayeux Tapestry."